Okay, Mr. Matthieu, it's great to have you today, and I'm super excited to sit down here with you to discuss Magma and its vision
Yes.
in the virtual reality world. We're going to start with the first question right away. Mr. Matthieu, can you tell us about yourself and your route to Web3 and virtual reality?
Yes, sure. So I am the current CEO of Magma. It's a Web3 platform for real estate. And my background was primarily in finance. I was working in a bank at 23-year-old in Miami after finishing my law studies in France. And so for about 3 years, I managed securities. I took my Series 7 on the New York Stock Exchange at 25-year-old.
Interesting.
And I manage NASDAQ securities with a senior broker. We were the first one to do day trading on the .com era. So we saw the IPOs of the Google and the Amazons and AOL and all those .coms stocks. So I arrived in '98 in Miami.
Yeah.
So I was really in a roller coaster per se, because when I arrived, the NASDAQ was around 2,500. It went up to 6,000 and down to 1,800, sorry. So I really saw the bubble of the .coms at the time. I was really inside the bubble when it bursted. And that's when I understood that trees don't go to the sky.
Yeah.
And so I learned a lot about the new business models that the internet was going to provide to the world. And this is kind of similar to what we see now with the blockchain era.
Interesting.
So it's quite interesting to have gone through this period to analyze what's going on right now. So I worked for 3 years for this bank, and then the bank was bought out by UBS, Union Bank of Switzerland. So I joined the team in Paris. They were opening the Paris office, so they proposed me to join and to take care for the private banking, to take care of the sports and entertainment people, so celebrities and sports people. So I was in charge of the whole soccer team from France in the team that won the World Cup in '98. So there were all the players playing in England, Spain, Italy, and they were placing their funds mostly in real estate in France. So that's how I got involved in real estate investing. And I did a lot of transaction with the bank. And then I left the bank and I created my own structure in real estate this time, advising high net worth individuals and small institutions for over 10 years in Paris, where we did a lot of transformation of office into residential. And a lot of transformation of real estate, so redevelopment mainly.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. It's such an amazing journey you've had, Mr. Matthieu. I'm sorry to cut you short.
It mixed finance and real estate, yes.
Okay, so what actually inspired you to go into digital twin technology? I've looked at Magma and I've seen that Magma is inclined towards building a virtual world on top of the physical world, and it's such an amazing concept you have there. A digital twin technology, like it's new, and a lot of people are intrigued by it.
Right.
So, what inspired you to go into this field?
Yes, it's even one step further, the digital twin, because it's the digital twin token. So it's really the digital imprint of a building through the digital twin. And what inspired us is with my actual partner, my current partner, Cooper Copetas, who is a parametric architect. That means he works with digital twins and he knows how to program computers and algorithm to run scenarios into these instruments. So I met him a few years ago in Miami when I was back in Miami. I had a real estate fund, so we purchased a few buildings, and I got involved with the city of Miami on a smart city project that we presented to the city of Miami. For an individual that had bought 40 buildings downtown Miami in a specific district, in a specific pocket. He had like 40 buildings. They were almost adjacent to one another. And he asked us to have a reflection about the potential redevelopment of the portfolio in the frame of the city and how it could enhance the image and create the condition for Miami to become on the forefront of innovation. Yes. So we immediately thought of the concept of smart city building being interconnected with one another. Yeah. And the use of the resources for the entire portfolio would be managed through a single platform. And that was at the time where blockchain was really on fashion in the US, especially in Miami. Everybody was talking about Bitcoin and how blockchain was going to change the world. And when I discovered that, I was really amazed, and I had sort of an epiphany where I said, well, for me, knowing the financial market and the state of the market as it is right now, and knowing real estate, and knowing what's happening, in the economy, I thought this is the transition that the world needs. Yeah. In order to achieve, sustainability and more inclusivity and more, frankly, more sustainable business models. Yeah. So we immediately, with my partner, saw the connection between the digital twins and blockchain, because blockchain is a way to secure information, is a way to ensure trust in data. And so the digital twin represents the building, and blockchain is the tool that
the underlying technology. Yeah.
The underlying technology that put trust into the data that you collect in the digital twin. Yeah. So our project Miami Beta City was presented in 2017 to the Miami-Dade Beacon Council, which is the economic development partnership of Miami. And we got awarded the keys of the county of Miami-Dade County in 2018 for the project. But it was very futuristic at the time. So they really liked it, and we had the community and everything, but the technology wasn't there. It was really Web3 before Web3. Yeah. It was like a metaverse with actual building, with real building. Since then, we've been continuously working on those concepts, and we created Magma, especially for that. So Magma is really a tool to verify, collect, and verify information from a digital twin and to a digital twin, because it's bidirectional, and a way also to incentivize stakeholders, so people that work in buildings, to collaborate in this new tool.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so can you tell us about your partnership with Superworld? You recently announced a partnership with Superworld. I once had an interview with replica, the CEO of Superworld, and I kind of see the sort of synergy between Superworld and Magma. Can you shed more light on this partnership?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, we share the same vision with Rich, as that the virtual world needs to enhance the real world. Yeah. They are not here to distract us from reality. I mean, they can be, of course, but for us, the real value added to the Web3 and to this virtual world is to enhance, the real issues that we have in the real world, right? Yeah. So the partnership with Superworld is very interesting. So to sum up what Superworld does is that they took entire Earth, and they divided it into 64 billion lots. Yeah. Each lot corresponds to actual addresses.
Physical locations. Yeah.
Physical location, exactly, on the map. Like imagine a Google map, and you would buy a specific location of this. Contrary to Decentraland or Sandbox, which are imaginary world.
Part of the world.
That don't correspond to physical location.
Like,
so that changed a lot in our view, because we are going to link a real building to these virtual lots.
Interesting.
And so with Superworld, they are going to add a build button on Superworld that will connect you directly to Magma. And
Magma, speaking of Magma, this is going to take us to Magma now. So what is Magma? What can you tell us about the founding of Magma?
Yes. So Magma allows to connect a real-world asset to blockchain, basically, to tokenize the elements of the building. So what tokenize means is to create a certificate on blockchain that will contain the elements and the metadata of the buildings and the elements of the buildings. So that means we divided a building in 5 index layers. Each index layer corresponds to elements of the building.
Interesting.
The level 0, Genesis, is the birth of your building in blockchain. That means you need to prove the ownership of the building, who owns it, the size of the building, net, gross, the yield, so rental income, the insurance, the conformity of use. Is it residential? Is it mixed? Is it offices? And so you have like 15 or 16 crucial documents that prove the existence of your building. So
the
you
compliance
this is the
aspect of it.
And then all the compliance, and it proves who owns it and how it runs. How we do that? We are going to record proof of a document by uploading a document in the platform. Through a validation protocol, this document is validated. When it's a contract, you always have 2 or 3 parties in a contract. So one is uploaded, the other party is going to say, yes, this is our contract.
Interesting.
So now you know that the document has been validated by 1, 2, or 3 validators. Once it's validated, then you want to record that document in the blockchain in an immutable manner. It means you're going to timestamp it and say this document was signed between parties on such day, and it's been recorded on that server on such day. So in the blockchain, you are just going to keep the proof of that document, and the document can stay in the server or in the Magma server, but you can point at it. When you need it, you can point at it.
Okay,
and
so interesting. Okay, so can you take us on the tour of Magma itself? I'd like to have an insider's view of tour of Magma. I'd like to understand how it basically works.
Yes. So I described you the level 0, and then you go on by levels. The first one is the structure levels. So it's all that contributes to the stability of a building, as the foundation, the supporting wall. And this level, you will keep it when you want to gut your building out. Every 10 or 15 years, you keep the structure, you gut it out completely. And so you have an instance where you have all the people responsible for the stability of the building, the structural engineer, the architect, and so on. And you have all the regulation pertaining to this aspect of the building. Then you have architectural level. Then you have wired level, which is basically MEP, mechanical, electrical, plumbing. And then you have the furniture.
Okay.
So each time you are going to record information about those, information that you agree upon with your stakeholders in the building. So I change a window, I'm going to put the invoice, and I'm going to put the insurance or the guarantee, and then elements regarding energy consumption, CO2 emissions, well-being of the occupants are going to be measured. So
this basically sounds like you have an ESG agenda,
right,
incorporated into Magma. Interesting.
Absolutely. So each item of your building becomes sort of independent, and you can create a token with your air conditioning system, a token with a zone, even like a bathroom or kitchen. And this bathroom contains different objects. These objects have energy consumption, CO2 emissions, and they contribute sometimes to the well-being services. So you can create pockets of information that you can pick into and that you can run scenarios with. So it's really an aggregation tool to verify information and use that information to perform tasks or to simply report. And you need to report your energy consumption or CO2 emission.
Okay, so what are the opportunities for creators and investors in Magma?
For creators, in Magma, everyone is a creator. We have 8 types of stakeholders and about 40 categories of them. And each one of them can provide data. And there is a reward system in the platform that pays you tokens when you provide data. And the better is the data, the more efficient is the data, the more reward you get. You provide information that lower energy cost, your rewards go up. You lower carbon emission, the rewards go up.
Yeah.
And so for creators, anyone, even a tenant, can provide information, or a service provider can provide information for the property manager. We will have an easy reporting because we set the parameters of this data beforehand.
Yeah.
So it facilitates the work for the property manager, for the facility manager, to gather data that is computable. That means we take PDFs and we allow our users to input this data in the format that can later be used by computers to pull information.
Okay, so how does Magma ensure
creators can be rewarded?
Okay, so how does Magma ensure a massive user experience? Like when it comes to virtual reality, you're talking about, you know, creating a massive experience for users. Like you said earlier, it is not to, you know, create distractions. So Magma is basically focused on enhancing the human aspect of this technology, which is going to be able to improve human life. So, but how does Magma ensure an immersive user experience?
Yes, so I know the users are looking for immersive VR experience right now, but for now, the focus right now is to create the different levels connection with the DTT, the digital twin token, and the 3D model. Yep. So we are still need to continue developing the platform. Right now, we can offer the DTT at the level Genesis, and we are connecting it to the 3D model during the month of October. So within 2 months, I would say the connection with the 3D model would be done. In terms of immersive experience, you can have several uses. You can have immersive experience for commercial purposes. You have a building, you want to showcase an apartment or an art gallery. And eventually we can also link this scan to a building information model where we can tag objects and, you know, explain what is there and, you know, have a little card that comes with the object. Yeah. So that's the first one. The second immersive experience would be for technical purposes. You have several contractors that want to work together in an immersive environment, and that's not what we do. We will just take information from there and record it in the digital twin token, but this collaboration is done into the existing software of the user for collaboration in building information modeling, for example. And the other one would be to create a digital copy of the building, but digitally, like in an architectural software like SketchUp or Archicad.
Interesting. Okay.
Where it's a digital copy of the building. It's not a scan, it's a digital.
Identity, yeah, I understand. Okay, so can you share your personal experience as CEO of Magma? What is it like, okay, running an organization like Magma?
Yes, so my experience is really exciting because bringing these new tools to the industry is really what motivates me, especially decentralization aspect of it, where it's very important to get rid of centralized control of data and to give the data control back to the producer of the data and the customers and the service providers. And so also Magma is meant to be owned by its users. So I want Magma to belong to the property managers, the asset managers, the service providers, the tenants. I want them to be able to own a piece of this infrastructure. And they will be able to provide
to personalize their experience,
collect data and build smart contracts of their own that can be used and deployed in several buildings around the world.
Interesting.
So that's really what motivates me.
Great. Okay, so what piece of advice do you have for entrepreneurs who would like to follow in your footsteps?
I would say the first thing is to have commitment and dedication to your project. You need the regulations, the new technological advancements. You need to know the community. You need to be able really to live by your project. And the second thing I would say is to build a team. You need a solid team because you will need competence that you don't have, and you need to be surrounded by people that have the knowledge and the technicality that you need. So that's why I'm very fortunate with my partner Cooper, who is a parametric architect and is a brilliant programmer. My other partner, Jürgen Schuppe, has been in digital asset business for many years. He's a software architect, advisor of the European Commission for the past 17 years. So we have very good front-end designer because also the UX UI is very important. So I would say commitment and dedication and a solid team are the two, prerequisites for successful.
Thank you, Mr. Matthieu. Okay, we finally come to the end of the interview. I would like to especially thank you for your time, and I hope to see you some other day in the future.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You have a nice day.